Hey y'all, and welcome to the Sprinkle Factory YouTube channel where we cover everything culinary. This is Chef Sprinkle and I'm back with another delicious recipe. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and join our Sprinkle Squad. Happy New Year to everyone. We are going into the New Year strong, and the first recipe up is going to be my Jamaican style oxtails. So the first thing we are going to start with is 2 pounds of oxtails. Make sure they're clean. Make sure you rinse them and you soak them in cool water and vinegar and make sure they're dry. And then we're going to pump these guys full of flavor. So we're going to start with marinating the oxtails. Of course, first, we're going to start with our Just a Sprinkle all-purpose seasoning. Make sure we get everything nice and flavorful. The next thing that we are going to add, you guys, is going to be some brown sugar. Just 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar, you can use dark brown sugar. I just happen to have light brown sugar, so that's what I used. Just for color purposes, we are going to use some browning sauce. Just a couple teaspoons of the browning sauce, 2 teaspoons to be exact. And we're going to put that in the marinade so that this way, when we fry them up in the skillet and we cook these, they're going to have awesome flavor and an amazing color to them. And then, of course, we are going to add some Worcestershire sauce as well, 2 tablespoons to be exact, you guys. We are going to follow that up with 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and we are good to go with the marinade. So make sure you get these babies nice and mixed up. Get each piece nice and coated, and make sure everyone has joined the flavor party. And just like that, you guys, after you let these soak for minimum 5 hours, trust me, it's worth it to do these the day before and soak them overnight. We have a skillet with about 1/4 cup of oil in the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and sear these up. We're going to sear these to lock in the juices to the oxtails. Of course, we're going to get an amazing color, and it is also going to add to the flavor of the overall dish. So we're going to fry these up a couple minutes on each side. You guys, literally, we're just cooking these to get the color. We're going to finish the cooking process in the pressure cooker. Now we're going to cook these, you guys, until they're all browned. It's okay to put them back in the marinade because this is not the final cooking process. So you may see that the browned oxtails are going back in the same bowl. But again, we want them to soak up the rest of that marinade at the bottom. And we're going to be cooking them with the marinade anyway. So again, this is not the final cooking process. So it's okay to put it back in the bowl or the pan or wherever they came from. So we're just going to go ahead and get all the rest of them nice and browned, and we're going to begin to prep our vegetables. While those are going, we're going to work with a couple of fresh ingredients here. We have some green onions, some regular yellow onions, some garlic, cloves, some fresh ginger, of course, some just a sprinkle, all-purpose seasoning. We also have some thyme and Scotch bonnet peppers, you guys. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to chop up the entire yellow onion. We are going to chop up our green onions, our garlic, everything that you see here. As far as the Scotch bonnet pepper, if you want to put it in your recipe, then what you're going to do is you're going to throw it in the pan when we saute the vegetables, you guys. I left it out of mine this time. But of course, if you want to add that, then you are more than welcome to. It is only going to enhance the dish and add a little spice, of course. As you guys can see, I put everything in the pan. We are going to pick up all that delicious flavor that frying the oxtails left behind. As you can see, I poured off half of the oil that was in the skillet, and we're going to fry our vegetables in whatever's left. If you want to add your Scotch bonnet, this would be the time. The next thing that we're going to do to deglaze the skillet fully is we're going to add in a cup of chicken stock, and my secret ingredient, a half a cup of apple juice, you guys. It sweetens it up. It makes the flavor a little more round and robust. It is super delicious, so try not to skip that step. We're just going to let this come to a boil, of course, but we do have to add some ketchup. So we're going to add in about... So let this go on medium heat. A tablespoon of ketchup. So this way we have that delicious tomato, oxtails into the pressure cooker. And then so we're just going to mix all of this together, you guys. We're going to allow it to do its thing. So as you guys can see, around all of my oxtails, we are going to throw them into my Instapot. You guys are using a pressure cooker, or even if you're just using a regular pot on the stove. And I'll go over the timing differences with those as well in just a few. So now that the sauce is nice and delicious, we're going to add it in there with the oxtails. We're going to close everything up. Make sure your steam valve is closed if you're using the Instapot or the pressure cooker. Now, my pressure cooker goes in intervals of 15 minutes, you guys. So every 15 minutes, I release the steam. I check on them. It took me about 4 cycles in total. So I did an hour, but that was just my preference for tenderness, okay? So, you know, keep checking them. See how much more tender you want them. You can literally have them fall completely off the bone if that's what you want to do. And if you guys see here, what I like to incorporate in my oxtails is some homemade gravy. I make it in the same skillet so I can pull all that flavor from the bottom. If you guys have not seen the how to make soul food video, I'll put the card up top so you can see how I make my gravy from scratch. As you guys can see, I have some pure cream coconut. We're going to put about a tablespoon of that in there. And then we're also going to add some baby carrots. You can add the whole bag. You can add half a bag. Totally up to you. Top it with the gravy, and then we're going to let it cook. Now, if you're using a regular pot, I would let these simmer, stirring occasionally on about a medium low so that your gravy doesn't burn to the bottom. And then let it go for about 4 to 5 hours. Again, it's totally up to you how tender you want your oxtails. So after about an hour, hour and a half, just taste them and see if you are ready to go. But as you guys can see, everything is looking super delicious, super juicy, trust me, super flavorful. So the next thing that I'm going to add is I'm going to add 1 can of butter beans. Now the carrots and the butter beans are actually optional, so those are totally up to you. So what this would be called would be like an oxtail stew. But it's totally up to you if you guys want to add those ingredients or not. Make sure also that you add a slurry, a cornstarch slurry. worry. For some reason, I did not get the recording of that. So just, of course, 2 teaspoons of water, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. And as always, in true Sprinkle Factory fashion, let's slow it down with a slow-mo. Just like that, you guys have made Jamaican oxtails. I love y'all so much. As my grandma would say, this is finger licking time. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Turn on your notification bells. You don't want to miss my Caribbean rice and peas. That recipe will be posted next. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year. I wish you much success, prosperity, health, and love in the year of 2020. And as always, I'll see y'all next time.